Hey guys, welcome into Rock Painting 101. Today I'm going to do 3 different patriotic or USA themed rocks all in one video just to get you inspired. I'll leave a card above of a couple other quick and easy ideas that I had done last year. I've got loads of my paint pens over here, all different sizes of red, white, and blue, and also black for lining. You can use paintbrushes for these techniques as well. I'm using my paint pens to create faster dry time. So let's get started. I'm gonna kind of bounce back and forth a little bit sometimes just to allow things to dry a little bit. Our first rock over here, I'm gonna start by creating just lines using my 1M. If you don't have the paint pens, you could do this with a liner brush. I'm gonna try to go all the way up and over the edges, and I'm just gonna put a bunch of them down on my rock. Now, occasionally throughout this video, I will speed things up from time to time if it's repetitive, just to give you a quick heads up on that. Now we're going to set that one to the side. We'll get back to that one in a little bit. Next, I want to place a circle in the center of this one using my white paint pen. Again, I'm going to fill this in and then let it settle. Sometimes with white, you'll need a second layer. It just depends on how it dries. And it also kind of depends on your rock that you're using as well, how much paint it will absorb. And just like that. I just need a circle big enough to write the letters USA in the middle of. So we'll let that dry, and then we're going to bounce over to rock number 3 here. And on this one, I'm going to draw a heart to get us started. So I'm freehanding this onto my rock. If you have a hard time freehanding hearts, you can make yourself a quick little stencil or template to draw on there. I'm just doing a cute little heart here, and then I'm going to create stripes at a diagonal across my heart. And I've done this design before for Valentine's Day. It's really fun and pretty easy to do. We're just going to give it a patriotic twist. All right, we're going to let those dry. So now our red's dry. So I'm going to do the same thing with blue onto this rock. Now, since I'm going to do a second layer of white on this, I do want to give this a little bit longer to dry. So I'm going to move on to my striped heart here, and I'm going to alternate on this one between blue. It's going to be white, blue, white, white, blue, white. And you'll see why in a minute that we're going to do the white every other one. So I'll just go ahead and fill in a couple of these with the blue. Blue is like one of my favorite paint pens. It goes on so nice and thick. Something about the pigment in blue, I guess, works best. And I'm going to do white in the rest. And the reason I'm doing that is I am going to do red and white stripes, and the red will just go on top of the white really easily anyway. So it's easier for me to just put white down in the first place and go over the top of it with red for its second layer. Okay, and then a second coat over here. When you're doing a second coat with the paint pens, my biggest thing is you want to lay the paint on top. You can even pulse your pen a couple extra times so it's really flowing. You don't want to scrape the layer up below. So we'll just get that on there like that. We'll do a second coat over there in a moment. Now I'm going to come over here and do white stripes on my striped rock. All right, when you're doing your second layer of white on here, don't worry about going over the black. We're gonna redo the black lines when we're all finished with that as well. This rock, I've got one of each color. We're gonna do all of them again, except the second time I'm gonna go in a different order. We'll go one more stripe of white, then blue, and then red, just so that we end up covering most of the rock. I don't wanna see any of the rock through the stripes, but you wanna make sure that you have all the colors showing through really well when it's done. So for now, we're gonna bounce back to this center rock. Now, if you follow the channel a lot, you guys know I love to do like dangle designs. Well, this one is more along the radial dangle design. So we're gonna start by just drawing a ring around our center here. And then we're gonna create little lines coming out for the center, radial. It'll almost look like a sun. So I'm gonna start by doing it in fourths, maybe cut each of those in half. Depending on your rock shape, this could be a circle in the center too, just as easily. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create little gems on our dangles. So in the center one here, I'm actually gonna do a star, and I know I'm just gonna draw it like a regular star, you know, your up, down, left, right, over type thing. We're going to fill these in, so don't worry that if they're filled in with black, we're going to fill them in with white here. And then I want to do at least 2 dots on each, so we can have white stars with red and blue dots coming off. So you can do a big one at the end and maybe one in the center. They don't have to be filled in, but they can be on the line. So I can do 2 at the end of this one in the center. Just play around with it. There's no rules to this. I mean, if you want to be cohesive, you can make sure that you have the ones like kind of across from each other the same. All right, just like that. All right. I think what I'm going to do for my coloring on this is I'm going to draw Write USA with my 1M, and we're going to do it in both colors. So I'm going to write it first with the red. And then we'll come back with the blue in a bit. All right, I'm going to do my second layer of these stripes, and then we'll be back. Okay, so we're going to do red and white stripes on every other one here. Super easy to add one layer right on top of the white. Now I'm going to try to do the spacing the same so it looks like the stripes are cohesive across. This one's going to stay white here in the middle. So just try to line them up like that. Kind of an invisible line so that it matches up. And you can add another one if it's bigger on the top. So USA. All right, on this one we are going to add the letters USA in black bubble style letter, and then we can fill them in with each of our colors. Now, if you have a hard time doing the bubble style letters, since I'm going to fill them in, it's okay to kind of write the letters and go around them. I do suggest that you start with your center letter, just because it will help you with your spacing for the rest of your letters, so that you make sure you don't end up off your rock. Okay, so just like that, we're gonna fill those in. Let's get back to our dangle style rock. Okay, so what you do is you can just go right on top of your black outlines to add these. So I'm gonna alternate, so this one will be blue at the outside edge. Every other one will be blue. Like so, and then we'll go back and we'll do the inside ones blue on every other one, and see, you can go right on top of the black to add your dots. So that's why it's okay if they're filled in or over the lines. It doesn't matter, because when you adding your color, it just leaves the outline behind. You can see it a little bit better probably on film with the red, just because it's a higher contrast color from the black. But once that's in there, you can actually see the blue drying. When it's dry, it's a little lighter. Then we will go in with our white and fill in our stars. Now, since we're working with a much smaller space here with our stars, we're going to be careful to kind of, I usually do a dot in the center, and then you're going to kind of just pull it into the points very, very lightly, like so. See that? So again, a dot in the center just to get the paint there, and that way you can really lift up. Use just the smallest bit of the tip of the paint pen. You can also do this with toothpicks, dotting tools. Sometimes that might even be easier than your paint pen itself. All right. Oh, I missed a dot over here. Red dot. And now I'm just going to redraw the word USA with my blue. I'm going to try to go just slightly off from the red so that they're not overlapping too much. So you're kind of seeing both colors. Like that. All right, that one's done. All right, this one we're just going to fill in USA with red, white, and blue. So again, white's probably going to take a couple coats, so we'll get that down first. It's probably going to pull up some of the colors underneath as well, but that's okay. Just get it filled in. First layer, always doodle the tip off. You'll get off any of that color that maybe got pulled into it. And we could also thicken up our outlines with the black when we're done, just to make these pop off the rock better. Okay, over on this one, we're going to add some dots. Now, I'm not going to make you try to go in there and do stars. If you want to get in there and do stars, you can, but it's just as easy to kind of come through here and add just like the dots to represent the stars. Like that. This just needs a nice crisp outline, and this one is finished. Done. Whoop. So I hope you enjoyed these quick tutorials to make some patriotic